I will be answering questions from Tracy's set three. Actually, just the first one. How would you feel your life would change if you had to follow the Hindu religion, or vice versa? How would you feel if you were in the Hindu religion, practicing Hinduism, and had to revert and do something else? So I believe it would be especially hard for me to adapt and honor the complex ways of Hinduism, because as said in our lecture, there's so many components to it that it's kind of hard to learn even overnight, or um, you'd have to change every little aspect about you, I believe. So, especially due to the large variety of gods, I can't even remember half the names of the ones introduced to us, and the cycle of samsara, the rebirth, and the caste system, especially. Those are just difficult concepts for me to wrap my head around in thinking if I had to honor them, because I've never really thought about those things or even really gotten familiar with Hinduism. So it all seems kind of strange and foreign to me, but everything new is. So maybe I would find comfort in some of the lifestyles that or beliefs or values it has in place. So it's confusing to me how they came to the conclusion of the cycle and the number of times you have to achieve them. Even the untouchables, or how do you know if you like? I guess I would take a little bit more research, but how would you know that you were a priest twice? Because I feel like you don't remember anything from your afterlife. Like, do you just come back and choose where you're at? I don't want to say that's flawed. I guess I'm just a little bit undereducated. So it would be very hard for me to just pick it up and decide that I'm starting from the bottom up. And as our professor Tracy Hawkins mentioned, I don't know why I said both of her names, but Tracy mentioned in our lecture, inequality. How does this affect people's sense of worth if you're just born and it's decided where you're gonna go and what you're gonna do? So, um, this system of inequality is difficult for others to not feel resentment or frustration, because it's 2019. If people don't want to be considered an untouchable and live under certain rules, they're gonna speak up about it and they're gonna protest, especially if the way they're treated, if they're treated like the lowest of the low, it's kind of gonna make them feel like, what am I doing this for? Like, why would I be categorized as that? If I want to be a priest, I'm gonna be a priest. I'm gonna do it. If I don't want to, I'm not. So I think a lot of the social media platforms have opened up people's idea to a voice and not having to live with the way things have always been. So there is no pride in who you are because of the obligations and label you are born with. So you can't say I did this, and um, because you're set to this path and these restrictions and duties that come along with it. So I believe there's very little personalization in that lifestyle. And not to say that it's not valuable to those who worship this way. It's just being raised how I was raised and having the mindset that I do. I don't technically agree with it. Um, or would honor it. And I said freedom is not particularly present, and I couldn't see myself abiding by that. I just know who I am and where I want to go, and I'm very, self motivated. Like, I wake up and I'm gonna do this because I decided to, or I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to. And I think the freedom, especially in America, I suppose, is present. And if that were related to that, I feel like it would just be hard. And all those points go for someone who would have to give up Hinduism, whether by force or by choice. You'd be abandoning, your set life for you, and it would be a little bit difficult to adapt to, maybe my lifestyle of living where you wake up and choose what you want to do every day, and it's not all figured out for you. So some people could have found comfort in that and having it all worked out, and other people might find it really challenging to take the initiative to choose what they want to do every day and why they want to do it. So, definitely would feel very, very lost if I had to adopt a new religion such as Hinduism.